So, gosh, I mean, where to begin? First thing is major. It's just this one finger there. And that kind of puts the gravity here. That's when I feel like home is here. So this is another just interesting tuning to mess around with. I'm not going to stop playing guitar after this record. It will always be a part of my thing. Who knows about the future? I'm excited to keep on expanding it.
Hey everyone, it's Matt from Guitar World here. We are here with a very special guest today. It's Mr. Jacob Collier.
Hey Matt.
Jacob, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, it's my total delight and a thrill.
No, it's a thrill for me. I saw you briefly at NAMM earlier this year and we spoke about your new electric guitar.
Yeah.
But we're going to speak a lot about acoustic guitars today. But I think it would be quite good to start by going back to the start and asking you how your relationship with the instrument first began.
Totally very valid question. So I don't think of myself foundationally as a guitarist from day one at all. I really came into the world of music I think through the piano, like sort of visually speaking, that was the language that made the most sense to me. So I understood those shapes, understood those sounds. The piano was quite an open-ended place to explore. And so I would sing and sing all these really expensive chords that you could play on the piano, like 10-note chords and stuff. And it wasn't until I kind of fell in love with Joni around 17, 18 years old that I really became obsessed with how do I get results out of a guitar that feel just like, fun, fulfilling, open. Like she has so many tunings that feel just like gloriously open. But also you can get kind of clustery with them. So I was determined to try and sound like Joni. So I went to a shop in London called Hobgoblin.
Nice.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there, yeah.
It's a classic zone. And I went in, the first guitar I saw, I'll never forget it, it's like emblazoned in my memory. I saw this tenor guitar, which is a 4-string guitar. So tenor guitars are tuned like this. That's a tenor guitar, which is the same as a violin actually, or like a mandolin, or So it's just like your fifths, you know.
Sure.
And so that was my kind of access point. But what I did, I'm going to move the cap up so I can explain this properly.
Nice.
I tuned this string down here. So for all of that time, from age 18 to 20, probably 27 or 28 or so, that was my guitar.
Okay.
I liked it because there was this octave here, and that felt kind of fulfilling, and like I could make sense of it. But I could do, you know, or whatever I wanted to do, and it felt like a Joni adjacent enough tuning. So I really fell in love with that, and I did the whole of my first few albums on that. But the more I played it, I sort of realized it was so cool to have just one extra string, like one string that completed the sort of mirror.
Sure.
Because these are the same note, but I wanted to have these be the same note too. And in my head, I was thinking, okay, there are shapes I could play that are really kind of quite accessible shapes, like just this as a major chord, for example. I thought, well, it would make a lot of sense to have this string at the top because you can kind of play these things that feel natural in a way that just feels complete. It didn't feel complete with 4 strings. Right. So I think of a 5-string guitar as like an augmentation of a 4 rather than a reduction from a 6.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I came into the world of it. My guitar heroes growing up, I mean, you know, some of them were obvious, like, you know, Brian May and Hendrix and stuff. But I also loved some pretty kind of niche techniques. So like, there's a man named David Longstreth who's one of my good friends. He's in a band called Dirty Projectors. Do you know that band?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
He does all sorts of like hammer-ons and stuff, which are really, they're kind of percussive as much as they're like melodic. You kind of hear the wood of the guitar, and he has really beautiful techniques. A lot of them are sort of inspired by African music, and so that whole style of playing kind of got into my head too. And obviously like Joni, who did all these really crazy voicings with her 6-string guitar, which was tuned into, you know, like just a major chord or whatever.
Crazy tunes.
So I was sort of inspired by all these sort of unusual things. Like I was quite inspired by sort of like kora players as well. Okay. Like sort of these kind of pyramids of things. And a guitar player called Ted Green. Do you know Ted Green?
Oh gosh, some of his arrangements are
he's amazing. All the sort of like harmonicsy stuff that he does. It's like, I think I like people who play guitars not like guitars are played.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I like it when I think I feel the same about every instrument actually. Like I like piano players who play piano not like piano players play it.
Yeah.
And I think as someone who's never fully identified as one specific instrumentalist, like I'm definitely this one lane, I'm kind of like reassured and inspired by people who cross-pollinate the language.
Nice,
So,
yeah.
so I liked this solution to the problem of guitar, for not that it was a problem,
Yeah.
but I think the solution to the guitar, because it's the same amount of range. I'm going to push this down. I know that's so bad. I should be undoing it, but it's fine. It's the same range as a normal guitar.
Yeah.
But you cover it more efficiently.
Sure.
And if you look at the piano and you play a chord, usually in your left hand you have quite kind of wider intervals,
Yeah.
like a fifth or an octave, and in the right hand you have like a triad or something smaller. And that's kind of how this is set up.
Okay.
Like you've got the wider intervals at the bottom and the closer intervals at the top, which is very pianistic.
Right, okay.
But it's also kind of modeled a bit like the harmonic series, like the Overton series is like that. Like the bigger intervals are at the bottom and then the smaller intervals are at the top. So yeah, it just kind of ticked every box for me.
Okay.
And I'm still very much finding stuff on this tuning,
Okay.
because there's not really a system of language that is set. Like if I hand someone the guitar off and they'll try and play E major and it just sounds like actually pretty nice, but it's completely different from the usual guitar.
Because I was gonna ask you, it's interesting, like your philosophy of it being a tenor guitar with an extra string, as opposed to a six string with one less string.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting because it kind of confirms it's its own thing with its own set of rules that you kind of have to get your head around.
It is somewhat.
Was that hard? Like, how did you land on the tuning? Because this is just an expansion of the tenor tuning,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, it is. I love the idea of maintaining the original of the guitar, because
Yeah.
I think this sort of like multi-octave range makes sense. But yeah, I think I wanted to feel like as a bass player, I wanted to feel like this. If I play like a bass, which I sometimes do, like this, like that kind of language on the bass is really straightforward. It's fourths language, you know, all that kind of stuff. But then this, that's all like fifths language. So like I like the fifths language from tenor guitar world.
Sure.
And then I loved the fourths thing
Extra
from
layer.
bass.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of use both.
Okay.
And yeah, it just sort of ended up like this.
So when you first got your tenor guitar, did you have lessons with that, or were you completely self-taught?
Completely self-taught,
Okay.
yeah.
And how did you find, because your technique, it's kind of like quite picky,
Yeah.
like this, rather than just
I have such a weird technique on
Is
guitar.
it just the way it felt natural to you, or did you have any advice that you were kind of given along the way, or was it just
I kind of figured it out, and not necessarily to my benefit. I think that there were certain things that I see people do on the guitar. I'm like, wow, how did you do that? But for me, I think I always, as I say, I always like using both hands to kind of climb around. You know, like often my right hand's actually doing much less than usual.
Okay.
I also really didn't learn to play with a pick until really quite recently. So
interesting.
it was very much sort of like.
Do you find it more freeing without a pick?
I feel like I can get into some quite emotive sounds.
Yeah. And I guess from like a piano background as well, it feels more
tactile.
Like an extension of that. Yeah.
And bass player and also piano, and I feel like just sort of being able to really stroke like these kinds of sounds. You know, like with a pick, it kind of goes.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit more percussive, I guess.
Yeah,
you've kind of got that.
But then there are things with the pick that you can definitely only achieve with a pick, and there's something really sort of crystalline about it. But yeah, I think I definitely came into it playing with fingers and sort of understanding just how the relationship between the two hands could feel maybe a bit more unconventional than usual. But yeah, there were kind of weird, unconventional solutions to problems.
It's an interesting kind of like you've had with the guitar. Do you think if you would have started on a 6-string, you would have gravitated to a 5-string eventually anyway? Or I guess it's hard to say. I mean, do you play much 6-string, or is it?
I really don't play much 6-string at all. Most of the 6-string I've ever played in the past was me tuning it into weird tuning.
Okay.
Like, so this was one of them, but also just, I think there are so many ways of tuning a 6-string guitar. I love it for that reason. You can get really weird with it, but for some reason the usual 6-string kind of system, it never like hooked my brain.
Okay.
The thing I love about this is that if you just do this, it already sounds great.
Got something there.
Yeah. Whereas with a 6-string, I think the open string thing sounds fine.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to know the shapes to be able to access that thing. Yeah. And I think I was a bit averse to sort of like learning shapes that sounded like things I'd heard before as a kid. Like I wanted to immediately find something that was different, like this sound, for example.
Okay.
Like that to me is really interesting.
You kind of can, like, it's easy access to shapes and sounds and chords, I guess.
It's easy access, and being able to start with essentially like a major chord or something very, very open, and kind of move from there. To me, it felt more like encouraging than starting with something as opaque as the 6-string thing and trying to find the way in. Obviously, I can play the normal shapes on that instrument, and it's fine. But for some reason, I always feel like I'm sounding like someone that I'm sounding like something else.
Yeah.
That's familiar enough to not guide my ear into a new place. And so I think something about this just felt like this is for me. You know?
Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting because it feels like you've, in the past few years, you've kind of gravitated more towards the guitar. I mean, you've been playing guitar, like you say, since however many years.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you've got your signature guitars now with Strandberg and Taylor.
Yeah.
What has kind of motivated this pivot towards guitar, like focusing on this instrument, I guess?
Yeah, gosh, I think it was always a world I loved, but I wanted to explore it like in higher fidelity. The moment I understood that this 5-string guitar thing, this wild idea of mine could be real,
Yeah.
which is kind of a weird story, but that to me was just a real leg up into the world of it. And I've played this tuning now on this guitar on tour for the last, I guess, 4 years, and it's really just excited me a great deal. And I think that, yeah, I'd been playing it in my head for a long time before it was a reality, but I wanted at some point to focus in on just the guitar and like understand it as deeply as I could. And that's kind of what led me to this moment of having a whole album of songs that are just on the 5-string guitar.
Yeah.
You know?
It's interesting you said you were playing it in your head before it became a thing. How did it actually become a thing?
So I mentioned it. I mentioned it in passing to someone at some point. I've been seeding the idea of like, oh, wouldn't it be cool?
Planting the seeds for a 5-string.
Yeah, but I never really thought, oh, I'm gonna have something on this level that I could ever really access. But I guess the idea found itself to Andy Powers, who is one of my favourite people in the world. He's such a kind of luminary, visionary, positive force in music, and he's almost like a sort of philosopher. He's like a very, very cool dude. I don't know if you've hung out with him. He's amazing.
He's a killer player as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's so good.
Absolutely unreal.
He's really, really special. I love it when makers also play.
Yes.
It just feels like they're connected to their
they
baby.
Really kind of know their craft, I guess.
And he has like an emotional relationship with every note and every sound, and you could really feel it from him. So he was kind of intrigued by the symmetry of the tuning. And this is something I hadn't really even thought that much about myself before he pointed it out to me. But the thing with this tuning is, anything you play on one side, so say you play this string here is like a mirror, and if you flip it, it's actually the same on the other side.
Cool.
So, or something like that,
That's cool.
There's something amazing about that. So I think he was like, as a sort of maths brain, philosophy brain, just master builder figure, he was like, oh, I get it. Like it's 5 strings, but the middle one is like, it's this mirror. And it means that you can basically play it upside down and get similar tunings out of it, but like it's similar sounds out of it, but it's kind of flipped upside down. And I've also always really loved the idea of sort of symmetry and flipping things. And so he got excited and was like, look, why don't I build you a prototype? And I was so blown away. I was so thrilled at this. I was like, oh, I can't believe it. All these shapes in my head couldn't be real. And so he built me this guitar, which is a 6-string neck with 5 strings, which means you have more space to sort of like bend strings. And just as someone who's still a relative novice, I think it's really nice to be able to see things so clearly on the instrument. So he kind of put that in my hands, and I was immediately kind of just very, very lit up by having this thing a reality. But it took then a process for me to understand really how to get my head around the language, like what are the best shapes? How do I create sort of variety? What kind of picking techniques work and things. Like I enjoyed just the whole thing of just having 5 fingers was a huge kind of is a bonus with a 5-string, because you can literally put a finger on every string and just play chords like this, which you can't do on a 6-string. So that is a nice benefit, I think. So to sum up, Andy agreed to do this, and I was really, really excited and so overwhelmed. And then the electric 5-string came along, and Ola Strandberg, our mutual friend, was like, yeah, we can do this in an electric way, which is a whole different kettle of fish. It's so exciting. And then, and now these guitars are sort of in the world at large.
Is that something you would have anticipated when you started going down this 5-string rabbit hole, that you would have 2 signature guitars from 2 different brands? Was that something that you ever thought of? Or was it
I never really dared imagine it. It just feels like such a cool thing. The thing I'm really excited about with this is not just that I've got my name on a guitar. It's more that I really believe in this as an access point for people who love guitar music but don't necessarily relate to or identify with being like a usual 6-string guitar player. And the thing I love so much about this is handing it to people who maybe aren't guitarists but who are musicians, and watching them light up and being like, oh, it's as simple as that and this. Oh yeah, I've got it.
And then once you've got a few shapes, you're just away. And
I love it. I think I'm most excited about that. I'm more excited about that than feeling like I've got a signature guitar. It's just like, I want to see other people's solutions to musical kind of opportunities with this tuning, because I've got mine, but like I'll never forget how I handed this guitar to Julian Lage.
Another killer player.
And he was like, what's going on with that? That's 5 strings. And I said, oh, honestly, Julian, I'd love to hear what you can do with it. And it was just unbelievable. Like I was so confounded by his, like
his musical brain as well.
He's so insane.
Crazy,
he's so insane. But he kind of like, he didn't even ask or investigate what the tuning was. He just started playing.
Heard it.
And I just watched his eyes sort of do this and widen and widen. He was solving the problems in his brain and figuring out how to find his way around it. I've literally never heard anything like it in my whole life. It's so different from him on 6-string.
Yeah, of course. You know. Has anyone else given the 5-string a go? Because I mean, you've worked with some really cool players before.
Yeah, I remember handing it to Chris Martin, and actually Chris he got it immediately because he tunes his guitar essentially to this tuning. So it's, all this, all that kind of stuff he's so comfortable with. So he picked up on it immediately, like how to access it. Musician called Wallis Bird. Do you know Wallis Bird?
Rings a bell, yeah.
Irish folk musician. I remember handing it to her, and she was another one who was just like, "Oh yeah, down you got it," you know. But yeah, I'm excited to put it in the hands of kids who are learning too, and I also think there are people who've been playing guitars for many years, but who kind of just want a different access point, a different tuning system to wrap their head around. It's to me, it's exciting to think, like, what do you make of this?
I mean, because all the guitars that are coming out these days, it's like 6-string standard tuning, and obviously people experiment with open tunings, but you never see something so like different, like a 5-string in this tuning. How would you kind of, if say there's someone from a 6-string background who wants to get into it? Yeah. What advice would you give them? I mean, come on, what would you say if they were going to try and give this a go?
Forget everything you know.
Nice, good advice.
I think it's sort of like, I think it's an opportunity to use your ears rather than your fingers. And the thing with guitar, the thing with 6-string guitar, is because it's so, like, tab culture. It's so kind of like, oh, G, and then C, and then E, and then whatever, and I just play, if it's a chord, I play the shape. The thing that's cool with this guitar is you have to, like, none of the shapes work. Okay. So you have to think differently, but I think that most people underestimate their ear. Like, I think you usually have a relationship with things that you hear that is somewhat untapped into. And I think with this guitar, because it's so new, the thing that to me is exciting is having, guitar players of the world who are so insane with 6 strings, having this new access point that means they have to forget all of the sort of like technique and focus on just the thing that's underneath the technique, which is always more interesting than the technique. Like, technique doesn't really make anything really, like it's not real. Yeah. Like it's a way of getting to the thing that's beneath it, which is your taste and your intuitions and all of that. So yeah, I think I always enjoy ways of sort of learning and then forgetting technique, and this feels like an opportunity maybe to forget technique, or in my case to learn it. Yeah,
it's cool. Do you find that it's more of like an intuitive tool for writing as well? Because playing, I mean, the chords are easy to kind of like figure it out, I guess. Yeah. But when you're sat down and you're writing, do you find it more inspiring than, say, I mean, obviously, don't play much 6-string, but do you find it an inspiring kind of outlet for that?
I think it's super fun to write songs on it, because I don't know about you or you, but I feel like there's something about like a drone that is really, it just makes my brain kind of light up, having this constant thing going, Just like a constant thing. The other thing with the guitar is you can have these as this is the drone. You know what I mean? And drones, they're so inspiring to me. Yeah. Like when I hear a drone, I'm like, oh, ideas are starting to come. So yeah, I think as a songwriting tool, it's fun and super cool. I mean, the reality is with writing songs or getting inspired is often it's things that feel new, that are inspiring inherently. So it's like if you've been playing this guitar for 5 years, as I have, then sometimes a 6-string guitar feels novel. It's like, oh, what's this? If you've been playing a 6-string guitar for a long time, you come to this. My hope is it will feel novel too.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm definitely not bored of this yet. You know.
Yeah. Are you working on like different tunings, or do you think you're going to just stick with this one and then figure like?
I've tried a few different things. There's a couple of tunings I'm really drawn to, and I can explain this sort of, I think, best in conjunction with the way I think about being in a key on this guitar.
Okay.
So if I take off this capo,
Let's just push down.
sorry, I should have done. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
See, this is how much of a guitar knob I'm saying. So this is D, right? This is open D tuning. If I'm in the key of D, then this tuning works because all these shapes work, and this kind of works through all of them. An alternative tuning I tend to use is tuning this top string up to E, and this kind of puts me in A. Interestingly, this now feels like my home. And so if I have a song in this key, I would often, like, rather than just capo everything up here and B and A up here, it's not much space. This tends to do, it kind of like, it helps with that.
Right.
So like, for example, I have a song called Never Gonna Be Alone, which is in kind of in C, though it never really goes to C. And for that, I would capo on the 3rd fret, which is kind of F, but then I'd use this kind of like, open tuning system. And that kind of puts the gravity here. That's when I feel like home is here. So this is another just interesting tuning to mess around with. That's slightly different from the closed thing of that, which feels like I'm in this key.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's automatically like, kind of like a change, isn't it? The way you kind of go
it's like you move your anchor point or something.
Yeah.
And
That's
so,
really
but
cool.
you can kind of tune it however you want. That's the other thing, is these strings it works to try a number of different things, and it's sort of designed for people who want to try stuff. You know? It's sort of like if you want to try something that's only 4ths, you can do that, or if you want to try something that's only 5ths, you can do that, or
I guess it's a
some
good
gnarly other
canvas for
things.
exploration anyway.
That's-
It's kind of set up to
that's
do
the
that
thing.
from out of the box.
Yeah.
I guess like as an extension of songwriting, your new album is focused on the guitar.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, what made you want to kind of explore the guitar and just like dedicate an entire album to it?
Well, so I've spent the last few years making these like really, really collaborative albums.
Yeah.
Like all the Jesse albums are kind of like insanely broad in terms of styles, like everything, you know.
Yeah.
And like literally like hundreds of artists and hundreds of thousands of audience choir members and all that stuff. And I wanted afterwards to do something that felt different, a bit more sort of just more intimate and more stripped down. I had this little window of time, 4-day window of time before a tour, and I wanted to make something. I didn't know what I was going to make. Ended up accidentally making a whole album, but I wanted to do some guitar songs anyway, because I've really been enjoying it, and there's something about the language of it that was inspiring me right now. But I ended up making this album in 4 days, and so the album's called The Light 4 Days, partly because it's 4 days, but also we all need light in our days. And so it ended up being this really comforting collection of songs that really kind of helped me at that moment in time. And it felt like somewhat a departure, but also a return, because I've always loved the sound world so much. Even going back to my first ever album, which is called In My Room, there are songs on there where I am playing my tenor guitar and sort of figuring out the language of it all. Like there's a song called Hideaway, for example, on that record, which feels like it was always kind of meant for this world.
Okay.
But I don't know, I didn't think too much about it. I just thought I'd like to do something on one instrument. That was like my inclination. And I thought, well, of all the instruments to do, I may as well pick this one.
I could, like stylistically, it's such a departure from the Jesse albums, which are huge in scale and scope.
Yeah.
What were the kind of, did you find like any challenges when you were kind of stripping it back to just the guitar? Were there any?
Well, I think it forced me to think about the guitar in a bigger sense than I had been in the past. Because, you know, oftentimes I'll think about the guitar as one like colour in my painting. Like there's a painting of a million things, and the guitar is just this one thing. But if you can only use a guitar, which is like my rule for this record, then the guitar has to kind of play different roles. So, you know, you can just play the chords, but you can also play, like a lot of the sounds on this album are sort of strange, sort of like jangly, sounds like I'm right at the top of the neck and I'm sort of picking a string, and it sort of goes, you know, it's almost like I'm putting some salt and pepper on or something.
Nice.
So I guess what I'm saying is the guitar is both like foundational but also like decorative,
Right,
in
okay,
a particularly vivid way. Like it's
Yeah.
a limited palette means that changes.
And there's a few solos going on in there as well, a few
Couple.
lead lines.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
do you
couple
find that?
solos.
Would you consider yourself, I mean, how do you think your guitar playing has developed since the Jesse albums to now?
Yeah.
How do you think it's kind of evolved?
I think mostly it's developed on stage, actually,
Okay,
like
cool.
playing live, because when you stand at the front of the stage with the guitar, certain things just kind of work better than others.
Right.
And I've found myself in situations where it's like, oh, staying in this thing works, or playing this particular style works,
Yeah.
or whatever. I've also really enjoyed playing electric on stage and on
course,
tour,
yeah.
so that feels like a sort of hero vibe.
I mean, the riff in Well on the
Yeah, oh yeah.
man, yeah.
Oh, thanks. But I think just some of that sort of tone-wise and energy-wise has informed my general like attitudes
Okay.
on the guitar. But I think, you know, with this album I wanted to, both find something new, which I think I did find a new language of sorts for myself, but also go back to something really old, which is quite a sort of foundational sense of just something that feels warm, made by myself,
Yeah.
sort of tactile, warm, and all of that. So yeah, everything just sort of ended up working for this moment in time.
It feels like quite like a DIY approach as well, in the sense that
Yeah.
it's just you and the guitar.
It's really scrappy, like because it was done so
But
fast.
it's got a bit of charm to that, I find.
I think so. I
It's
think
not polished or too...
very much
yeah.
unpolished. I think polish is overrated in general,
Okay.
and perfection is overrated in general. But I think that the 4-day window was such an insanely concentrated time creatively, where it's like I could only ever go to my first idea.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's like this one, yeah, I'll just go with that. Oh, I don't have time to reconsider. I'll keep it there.
Yeah.
And also, like, no songs on this album, I think except for one or maybe two, were recorded with click track. It was all completely
Interesting,
clickless,
okay.
so it was like very abstract. They were all done around live takes. This is, I
Yeah.
think, probably one of the main challenges for this album for me was I had my R88 ribbon mic, which is like do you know that mic? It's like
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
beautiful, warm, like hissing mic. And then my Neumann U87,
Sure.
which is in a figure 8 system, so I could sing into that mic and play into this mic without any phasing issues. And the idea was essentially for almost every single song, I did a live take of the song, and that was my basis. And then I decorated as necessary. Sometimes not very much, sometimes more around those live performances. But usually, when I record, I would do each thing by itself. So it's like I'll do the guitar first, and
Sure.
then I'll do the vocal,
just
and then I'll
layer
do
it
the
up
piano,
and
and you
stuff,
layer.
yeah.
But for this, it felt like, I guess, almost like more of a human capsule in the sense that it was just a dude with a guitar and a voice, and that's the thing that came out.
Yeah.
And so there is something kind of elastic about the time,
Right.
and also quite organic, I think, about the feeling. And I appreciated the sort of difference there from what I'm used to, which is more of a sort of layering up thing, sometimes more structured. But I really like the feeling of not being in time, like not being
Okay.
rigidly in time, and it's sort of like kind of bends like this all
Go where it
constantly, and
needs
it
to.
feels like it's sort of washing over you instead of like you're like following along like that.
I guess that must feel quite liberating coming from something that is quite, big in scale to something that is. Like
Yeah,
stripped back.
absolutely. Yeah, liberating and somewhat terrifying at the
Yeah,
same
of course,
time,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
but really, really fulfilling. I think when you know you found something,
Sure.
that's the thing. I feel like in general, as a music lover and someone who just is obsessed with music in general, I think that I've never thought really about music on a scale of sort of like simplicity to complexity. Like I think you can perceive depth in either, and you can also perceive shallowness in either. And shallowness is fine, depth is fine. You can do whatever you want. But I think to me, there are so many ways of building intensity besides just quantity of stuff. But quantity of stuff is one really fun way of doing it. So you can get 100 things or 1,000 things and go like, and it's so intense. But you can also be so intense with just one note, and
Yeah.
it's just the right note at the right time, and it's recorded in the right way or whatever. Played with the right intention, and you're like, whoa, that's massive.
You're going to talk a little about what I've been holding in the past.
Do it.
however long.
Yeah.
Is this is the new one? Is this the new?
So
Taylor?
these are both new models. This is
Okay.
the Academy model.
Okay,
This is the GS Mini model. The Academy is slightly bigger. What I love about this model is it has this. I can't remember the name of it.
It's kind of like a bevel.
The bevel. That's the name.
bevel,
That's the word.
yes.
Yeah, bevel. And it's lovely because right hand over the body or whatever, and it's just so comfy.
Was that something you asked for when you were?
It was Andy's initiative. He
Right,
was like,
okay.
"What if we put a bevel?" I was like, "Really, Andy?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay."
Oh,
And then
Andy
actually,
knows his stuff.
turns out he does know his stuff.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
So in terms of like the specs, is this similar to the previous one that you've?
Similar.
Okay.
It's similar. It's just it's slightly more sort of concise.
Sure.
They all slightly different sounds to them. This one is the GS Mean, so this is the sort of baby one.
I love the rose.
Oh,
around
thank
the,
you. Thanks
sound.
very much.
Did you design that?
Yeah, well, it was us and
Sure.
Taylor. We designed it, but it's quite a sort of color
Sure.
burst of stuff. But yeah, they all have their personalities. There's something really kind of sweet about this one. It feels just it's very kind of like it's quite complete. It's quite rounded, and you can get more low end out of it.
Right.
This one there's less low end, but there's something quite charming about the fact that it's just so miniature. And even just up high, like the way it sort of quite jangles in quite a playful
Do you
way.
find you approach them playing in different ways?
Slightly. Like the main difference to me is that I can bend these strings. I can bend further.
Okay.
So that is just a difference.
Nice.
Like I find myself really enjoying that kind of stuff. Whereas on this one, I don't necessarily feel as inclined to do that.
Tension, I guess.
But this, you can get into the lower stuff more. Yeah,
It's different tools for different.
tools
jobs, I
for
guess.
different fools.
Do you find you approach playing electric different to acoustic? Like, do you find writing they bring out different?
Yeah,
aspects?
somewhat. I think on electric again, you can bend it really far on electric.
Yeah,
you bend
yeah.
like a fourth up or something.
Nice.
So that can be really fun to play with. And the thing with electric is you can get all these different tones out of just like tweaking the plug-in or the amp or whatever it is, the pedal you're using. Whereas I think my heart's always really been in the acoustic world in terms of tone.
Right.
And yeah, so I enjoy the sort of different options that you find. I've also been playing a 10-string guitar, which Andy
Yeah,
also
I was
made.
going to ask about that. So
Yeah.
that's also on the new album, right?
It is, yeah. Occasionally it is, yeah. So
Okay.
that one just feels like it feels like a 12-string version.
Is it? Yeah, sure. Is it like the 12-string equivalent of the 5-string?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Nice. How do
yeah.
you find playing that?
Really, really fun. I mean, like my fingers get tired as they
Of
do
course,
with 12
yeah,
strings.
yeah.
But yeah, in general, I love it. It's because there's such a resonant tuning anyway. Like
Yeah.
it just sort of goes ring, and so yeah, there's something quite kind of resonance friendly about it. And on the 10-string, the bottom 3 strings are all doubled with octave strings,
Sure.
which actually puts this octave string higher than the top string of the guitar,
Interesting.
which is really fun. It means that you play shapes that feel familiar, and then they're kind of rendered as new.
Right.
But yeah, it's a particular kind of sound that
Nice.
sometimes hits the spot.
Do you think this is something you're going to continue exploring in the future? Like, would you do another guitar album? Would you hone in it?
Honestly,
again,
maybe.
guess?
I mean, I'm not going to stop playing guitar after this record. It will always be a part of my
Sure.
thing. Who knows about the future? But it feels like 4 days wasn't enough to complete my journey, in just this instrument. So
Okay.
I'm excited to keep on expanding it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you could show me some chord shapes? Because
Yeah, I
I've
can.
been sat here with it,
Raring to
going
go.
to play it, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, then trying to keep up with the twiddles.
100%.
Where
So
should I go? Should I go capo 3?
So,
Is that easiest?
yeah, well, let's do capo. Let's do capo 2. I'll come down to you. So, guitar players who like E major, there are some of those. Feel at home. So, gosh, I mean, where to begin? First thing is major. It's just this one finger there. Exactly. Yeah. So, like, one of the first things I ever kind of really gravitated towards was that classic sound, which is from here to here. Exactly.
Nice, like a suspended kind of.
Yeah, like a 4, with some warmth in it. And that is, I mean, you can already play like a million songs with those 2 chords.
You can pivot between those, can't you?
It's, yeah. So that's lovely. And you can move this up and do this. Yeah. Yeah, all that stuff is lovely. Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
I guess that philosophy is like continued all the way up.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you can kind of bar, if this is your major shape,
Yeah.
you can go wherever. You can obviously bar all the strings, and that always works. Just so easy and so fun. Exactly, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So that's like an open playing field already. Yeah. So like for example, like there's that Joni song Amelia. Do you know that
Sure.
song?
Yeah.
I was driving around the burning desert, and I saw this airplane. It's really easy to play
Yeah.
on this guitar. And so too is Your paradise with a parking lot. So these sounds are familiar to guitar players already, but on this guitar they're like just
the way of
they're very accessible.
Okay. But then once you kind of like get into it, it's literally just 2 notes you're holding down.
That's it.
And it's
Yeah. It's just nice and simple. I mean, when it comes to barring things, like you can bar all these everything, but you can also bar only some of the strings. So for me, I find myself often, I have a sort of bendy finger here. I find myself often just barring these 2 strings, but leaving these going, which means you get this like thing, which is a huge part of my vocabulary on this instrument.
Sure. So the minor, I guess you just
exactly, yeah, that being minor, that being major, simple as that. Yeah.
Nice.
So for me, a lot of it is figuring out, well, just with these 3 strings alone, how to navigate the kind of the inversions.
So what was that chord you played there? That was it.
So that one there, you mean? Yeah.
Right.
It's the same as that, but it's just a different order. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
You can always just go back if you're getting stuck and you find
you can always go back. Yeah.
So
So basically, if you get comfortable with these 3 strings and feel like you can find your way around with just kind of pretty simple shapes. There's this one, and this one, and those are kind of all the. If you know those shapes, you can find your way around quite a lot of stuff. And then, like for example, if you want to do like a minor 7 shape, that's quite nice for minor 7. Yeah, yeah. Or another one I really like is just these 3. Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, it just feels kind of like jazzy in a way. Yeah, exactly. So that's nice.
I guess it's like once you kind of get the top 3 strings nailed, then you can start sprinkling in the magic dust, I guess.
All the rest. Like also just having, if you like, yeah, exactly. This is the other way around of treating these 3 strings as your focus point, and these are the drone.
So it goes back to the symmetry thing, right?
Yeah. So, these kinds of things. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So that I can already play a bunch of songs.
Yeah.
Just using that, and the shape is so easy. It's a very very straightforward thing, and yeah, you can kind of bar any chord. That's the other thing that's nice. So you can bar, say, the minor 7 chord, for example.
Where's that one?
I'm kind of putting my little finger across those 2. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
A lot of barring.
It's a bit of barring. Yeah. Yeah. And if you want to make that a major 7, you just do.
And just stick up a bit.
Or that's a funky one, but yeah, like that.
That's jazz.
That's jazz. Yeah, that's funny. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it's like once you kind of get these chords in your head, then you can run with it, right?
That's the thing. Yeah. And I love how inviting this is. You're just like, well, it could go anywhere. It could be minor, it could be major, it could be suspended, it could be whatever. Another one of my absolute favourite shapes of all is this shape. Yeah.
That's cool.
Isn't that nice? Has such a sort of bittersweet flavour about it.
I feel like those kind of suspended, augmented chords are quite accessible
juicy.
as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just a 3-finger chord.
If needed.
Yeah. So I find myself often playing that. Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah.
Keep going back.
No, he's got it. He's totally got this down.
So this is the tuning you used for Norwegian, your cover of Norwegian Wood.
It is.
You did.
Yeah.
Which is on your new album.
Yeah.
Would you be alright to kind of just play this song through?
Yeah, totally, yeah.
And then, because I mean that'd be cool if we can get you.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And then I'll give it another go to try and.
Yeah. Okay. So ready? This is Norwegian Wood by I wish by me, but unfortunately no. I once had a girl, or should I say, she once had me. She showed me her room, it's a naked Norwegian Wood. She asked me to stay, and she told me to sit anywhere. So I looked around and I noticed there wasn't a chair. I sat on the rug, biding my time, drinking her wine. We talked until 2, and then she said it's time for bed. She told me she worked in the morning and started to laugh. I told her I didn't and crawled off to sleep in the bar. And when I awoke, I was alone. This bird had flown. So I lit a fire. Isn't it good, Norwegian Wood? Norwegian Wood. Norwegian Wood, yeah. Oh,
I love the improvised bits you were doing in there
Oh,
as well.
thanks.
Oh man. How did you go about arranging that one?
Yeah.
Why did you choose that song?
I mean, classic tune. Loved it since I was a
Yeah.
kid. Used to play it when I was small. I was in a band when I was like 13, 14 on double bass. And I used to sing this song and play bass along with this song. So it's just always been a beautiful, beautiful song. But I wanted to sort of like something for the album that felt like had some energy to it.
Got a bit of like a gallop to it. Isn't
Has
it?
a bit of a gallop,
Yeah.
bit of a pocket. I've also been really enjoying just like playing with my palm muting situation, which again I'm quite new to it, but it's has such a vivid personality. So I came up with this kind of this kind of pattern, which is slowly it's like this. That's all it is. That's it, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
And these were all
absolutely
palm
right.
muted for like.
Yeah. That's it.
That's a cool. I mean, palm muting is
Yeah.
another way of.
It's a whole different thing. Yeah, so then up to
Nice.
tempo. That's the thing. And then, I once had a girl, or should I say, she once had me. You just sort of sit in the groove for a bit.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
And then, she asked me to stay. Remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Can do
that's
that
the one. Asked me to stay and she told me to sit anywhere. Like a chord like that's quite fun.
Ooh, okay, what's the shape of
It's like a minor 9 shape kind of thing. Just move that one down. That's the one. Yeah. So if you put this one down,
Yeah.
it's this fret there.
That one.
Yep. That's the one. And then as well.
Ah.
There. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Isn't that a sweet
That's
shape?
cool.
Yeah.
And then back to there.
Kind of, yeah. So that bridge section sort of goes like, you asked me to stay and told me to sit anywhere. So I looked around and noticed there wasn't a chair, which is a nice F sharp minor shape. That's exactly it. And we're back, you know.
What was this little run you did here?
Yeah, it's this sort of like Bon Iver purr thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, so it's nice to have your chord 5. It's just this string. You don't have to do. You can, but just this. Yeah. I stepped on the rock, finding my time. Yeah, you got it.
It's keeping up the tempo, isn't it?
That's the thing. Yeah.
But I guess that's like. Do you find your finger picking has developed quite a lot since you've been doing it?
Somewhat, yeah. I've definitely found certain ways around doing it. So your hand looks so good. I feel like when I watch myself play this song, my hand always looks really weird.
I know. I feel like you all have more.
Because I do a lot of this kind of stuff, but it just works for me.
Yeah,
you know?
no, that's the thing. I think it's
Like that. Yeah.
I mean, you're playing this better than I am, and you're doing the
Oh, yeah.
your fingers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And there it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is the same shape as before, just the 1/4 thing. So sit anywhere. Yeah. So I looked around, noticed there wasn't a chair. That's kind of all you need to know. Then there's one moment at the end. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those lines sound so impressive, don't they?
I really enjoy all of that. Just and the hammer-on sound I like a lot too. Just
it's quite like harp almost, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where some of the sort of kora inspiration for me,
Right,
and harp
okay.
inspiration, and like non-guitar inspiration kind of comes into.
Nice.
Even though that's quite a guitar-y line. You know, like, you don't normally hear these kinds of, on guitar, as much as you hear like open chords.
Yeah,
And as a piano player, I love all that stuff. There's one other thing in the song, which is at the very end, it goes, and, I know it's high.
You almost need like a double cut acoustic.
Yeah, you kind of do, you know, yeah. I should tell Andy that.
Yeah.
When I awoke, I was alone. This bird has flown. That's the
nice.
very end bit. When I awoke, I was alone. This bird had flown.
I mean, that is just such a good run of chord shapes in that one.
And they're all fairly straightforward, but I like reharmonization in general. So it felt like a nice opportunity to try and do it.
Again? Sorry, that was...
And then down to D, and then that one. Yeah. Yep.
And then...
That one. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. That's quite flamenco almost, isn't it? Yeah.
cool, that.
And then back to the figure. But yeah.
I mean, learning it is it's hard to get your head around it, so writing it must have been good fun to do, I guess.
It was good fun. I wanted something that felt somewhat athletic, but without being like, you know, and kind of using the instrument to the things that the instrument's good at to its advantage. So like having the E going through all of those chords as a drone is cool, you know. Kind of feels good, and the percussion of, even if you listen to the album, the song you can hear like these like
all the things that would otherwise be scrubbed out or avoided.
Yeah, I like all the sort of, you can hear the fingers on the strings in a particular way.
It's all the kind of
I love all that stuff.
Yeah,
Man. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
That's so good. Genuinely,
thanks very much.
the most inspiring guitar lesson I think I've had
Oh.
for a very long time.
Oh, jolly good.
Thank you very
thanks
much
for saying.
showing me that. Any homework you'd give me for if I was to hopefully see you again in the future and we can sit back down?
Yeah, that'd be
go
really
over
fun.
some-
I'm just excited to see what people come up with
Yeah.
that I can't think of. So just find stuff I haven't found.
Yeah.
And
Bring it to the
and just
table.
like do your thing. You're picking up so fast. It's,
I mean,
it's,
I think
it's really
I think
thrilling to see.
I think it's just the chord shapes, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I think once you kind of get your head around the
Yeah. That is
Yeah.
it's probably my favourite one. That one,
Well, not that
honestly. Yeah. Oh no, that one's also
That'd be
really
good.
that's good too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go away and I need to get a 5-string guitar now.
You have to
so
get
I
a
need to
5-string
do-
guitar. That's what you have to do.
Yeah. Well, thank you very, very much for the guitar lesson.
Yeah. My absolute pleasure.
Pleasure, man. So
thanks,
good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hope to see you soon, and I'll have learned that song.
Fantastic. I'm excited to hear that.
Nice one.